principal of the primary. We've got Sue Chambers,
And
student
as we were reflecting,
special.
right, one of the great things that we get to do
Yeah, the
is
school
have the
counselor.
gallery walks.
And Cindy, we're going to talk to you about our pillar 1 and pillar 2. We're going to start with pillar 1. These are just a couple updates. Yep, that's huge. Yep. So for pillar 1, we want to highlight our goal of continuing to develop evidence-based strategies for supporting students performing below the 25th percentile on the Ames Web screen. So this is one of our goals that is part of the whole Act 20 requirements. And so Sue is going to highlight just 2 strategies that we're using to help get to this goal. The first one is focusing on accuracy. We've been working with our teams and also our new pilot materials.
So working on focusing on accuracy, we found that when the benchmarks change for benchmark screeners, that our kids were meeting those goals, but they weren't meeting the accuracy goals. So they were able to read like the required number of words per minute, but their accuracy was well below 90 percentile. So we wanted kids to be at 95% accurate and higher. So the platform that we use doesn't track accuracy, so we had to come up with a way to track it ourselves. And so I just brought 2 examples of what we're doing. When we read with the kids once a week, we're tracking the words per minute that they're getting, and then their accuracy percentile or percentage. And so for each student, we've got how they did in the fall. So this particular student had 29 words read in 1 minute in the fall at 78% accuracy. We worked on it once a week in addition to the classroom. Obviously, this is just one more supplemental check. And winter, this student went to 57 correct words per minute and 93% accuracy. So huge jump. And then we have the end of the year goals, so they know where they're headed. So this is a student who
this year
very successful with this process.
25%?
This student was, yes.
Okay, so we use this with students that are falling or not quite at the 25th, but we also use it for other students too, just we find it super motivating.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so
good
this
question.
is an example from not a student who's below the 25th.
Okay, I better use backwards.
Yeah, this one is on a plant, this one is not. So this student started 47 correct words per minute in the fall, and in winter we're at 50 correct words per minute. Their accuracy went from 98 to 94, so they're a student that we're looking at more interventions for, it just helps support
down by the park,
to be by the end of
and
second
ways that they
grade.
can make that better. They secured a
So
grant for
one
the
way that we're
village,
doing that is through once a week progress monitoring. Another way is some of these kids, like this particular student, they come to me once a week and just do practice reading, and we talk about the narratives and how to figure out where we don't know and strategies like that. So that is one way that we are
Each of
working.
these pictures too.
It was a bad day and a tough story.
Okay.
So,
So
yeah, so
not all
same thing.
perfection. It's
Right,
not all-
exactly. Yeah, and it's really just,
It's all up and down.
yeah, and we're using, for these passages, we're using Dibbles materials, which is what we used before we used Ames Web. And we always thought when we used that there were some more challenging stories and less challenging stories, and this is showing that. So,
On this one also?
yeah, so, in fact, every second grade took a
And
dip on that
basically what
story.
we got to do is see what happens.
Is the accuracy related to like
So kids got to
vocabulary or
do
pronunciation or word?
Decoding skills, so it's almost always like multi-syllabic words, so they don't necessarily have the strategies for tackling the multi-syllabic words, and so that's what this really helps with, like, you know, this part of this word, so now we can figure out this longer word. So yeah, most of it is.
Kindergarten first and second or just first and second?
This is first and second grade.
Okay.
Those differences,
Yeah.
learn how to learn.
So then, in addition to this, we're also piloting
One
a
room schoolhouse to where we
program
are.
called magnetic literacy.
There we are.
And I asked the teachers, I, as a read specialist, don't directly teach the program, so I wanted to hear from the teachers.
And
What do you
this was
feel about
awesome, we
the
had,
pilot? And kindergarten, their first quote was, "I love everything about it." I said, well, what do you love about it? They like the pacing, because all the kids know all their letters by the end of the first semester, instead of going through half the year before they, or the entire year before they've been exposed to all the letters. They've noticed that their writing is noticeably better, and the teachers who aren't in the pilot program are noticing it from the kids that are in the pilot program. So handwriting, putting sentence structure together.
So as part of IView,
Yeah.
our literacy.
First
there's
grade,
a-
they love that everything
a
connects
story
to a
about
common
Frank Lloyd
theme.
Wright.
So this is an
And
example of a
we
first
always
grade
talked
unit.
when we started
And so their
IView, like,
theme is mapped in
getting
our
down
world.
to grade Italians
And she just wanted me to share that, you know, they have
into
different
their,
parts,
real,
like they have
learning
speaking and listening skills, they have
What
word
was special about
analysis,
this trip
they have
is
comprehension, they
they've
have
never let
writing,
a young group of fifth graders
all the kind of pieces coming together for one common theme, which they really like. And then second grade, so this is about one second grade classroom. Every unit has an essential question. Second grade for this unit is, why are national parks important? And so every time a student makes a connection to that essential question, they put a post-it note on the concept picture. And this one down here is the first, like what they started with. And I was only gonna bring one tonight, but then the teacher said, well, look how much better than Brandon said. We'll bring both. So, yeah, so they've really caught on to that idea of everything centers around this one question.
Take time to
So the teachers are
talk about the history
highlighting
of the forest
like
and
what
also
they're seeing
write,
from the kids.
read, and then
They're
just reflect
engaged,
upon,
they like the
this
stories.
great outdoor classroom.
Everything's going very
So we have a lot of things that were already in place, and this pilot is to help
Every year we
enhance
do
the
a stock
different things
market
that we have,
where
and so
kids
some of these areas
invest
are exciting to
$20,000,
just
not
even
real.
know. So,
And so these are the materials too, if you're just.
And they buy it in
all right, we're going to shift over to Pillar 2, where Mrs. Bilkey and Ms. Becker are going to talk about this. For Pillar 2, one of the goals we have is to strengthen our commitment to students' belonging, inclusion, and collaboration, focusing on students that report, I worry
how
about
to invest money, other ways to invest money.
So our
and then
kids take
also
a
what he
survey
does, and as
3 times a
possible
year.
career.
And the question I worry about a
We really
lot, we
appreciate
had
rather than coming down
really
and
high number reporting that they were worrying a lot. So we like this is the tier 1 thing. So we were putting in lots of different supports. We have do morning meeting every day or every morning, and then building predictable routines help with that. Visual schedules, which there's some examples there. One-on-one adult connections, which we are all working on always. Having calm and cozy spaces available in classrooms, and then some options outside of classrooms too. We have break boxes in every classroom, so kids have access to tools. There's timers. All teachers use them a little different. Some will say kids can take the tools to their learning space. Some say this is in the calm spot. They go set a timer and say that they get their time there. And then we have zones of regulation that we teach. Just teaches kids about where they are and how their body's energized, and then how their emotions fall into those.
And we get to use Disney or whatever it is.
The inside out characters, fall right into the
So do
zones.
they like self-identify like what zone they're in?
Yeah, kids are really good at identifying. Even in 4K, a lot of our kids can really know like how their body's energized. And then the next step is identifying the emotion that they're in the body, but they're checking into their zone, they're really good about. Some classes do it, like have a visual and the kids actually move a piece. Some do it more verbally, and some just have the visual there for kids to be thinking about it. Some classes use mindful me time after recess or lunch, just for kids to decompress before they get into their learning. We've talked a lot about different breathing exercises for kids to do.
I think they gave us a 3-minute warning a little bit ago. So
Some
I'll
classrooms
make sure
have a
that's
brain
a
box
question.
activities where parts of their day they use a brain box. Just there are other activities that are kind of more one-on-one for them to do, puzzles, building, and then movement breaks throughout the day.
So these are things that a lot of teachers are already doing, and we're just kind of continuing to share and highlight for these students that are identifying this on our on the screen that they take with us. And another goal we wanted to highlight is enhancing student development in work habits, and really talking specifically about executive functioning.
We're in our final minute before we'll rotate.
No, it's okay.
Some of the examples, I guess, just to talk about that, one of our kindergarten teachers does a really great job of like putting pictures up on her Clever Touch for kids to put their folder away, do their lunch check-in, get their morning work, and do their book bands. And this is also an example of her rotations for literacy centers. And so that's up on her Clever Touch. There's a timer that comes down to help students rotate through that. And at the primary school, getting ready in the winter can take a long time for kids, and things can go missing quite quickly. And so in students' cubbies and around in the hallway, there is kind of the checklist of what kids need in order to be ready to go outside. So they really use it. They love it. It's easy, and yeah, our lost and found hopefully will go
So
down.
as a staff, that's something we're really talking about, is because this executive functioning is something that helps them with those daily tasks they're doing. Working memory, flexible thinking, self-control. If you don't have it, it affects planning, focusing, managing emotions, organizing, and task initiation. So these are things that Liz had talked about are things that teachers are doing, and we're continuing to brainstorm.
All right, we are at our
Fall to
times.
help be
We are going to
intentional with those things.
rotate. This group over here, you guys are.
Yeah, they do.
She's gotta go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, Jason's here too, he's listening.
All right. Welcome. We didn't introduce ourselves last time, so we'll introduce ourselves in case you don't know. My name is Mr. Schuderman, Eric Schuderman. I get to be the principal at LES and OSC.
Chris McNeil, 5th grade.
Dawn Collins, special education.
Carrie Barr, school counselor. Grace Shirite, teach at OSC.
So thank you for learning more about us and what we do at LES and OSC. As we were reflecting on the gallery walk and we were thinking about what to present on this time, we went back and looked at what we have already presented on the last few years. And we realized that there was a part of what we do that we really haven't highlighted before, and that is really how we promote and give opportunities for kids to have experiential learning. So that's through field trips, through field studies, and through guest speakers. We believe that our students are at the perfect age at LES and OSC to utilize these experiences to really transform sometimes abstract concepts into actual learning and see how it affects or how it is implemented in the real world, and to learn not only from our amazing teachers, but also learn from those in our community and in our broader world. So, because of that, when we thought about what pillars is covered, we know we were only supposed to keep 2 pillars, but we really believe that these opportunities really cover 3. So, pillar 1, preparing for the future. Pillar 2, nurturing the whole student. And pillar 3, innovative communication connection.
All right. So impacted field trips and field studies. Okay, so we're still doing that. We're gonna do that learning. They can move forward with their knowledge. They're gonna learn hands-on by seeing, touching, and exploring different things and opportunities that they might not get in the classroom. Real world content. These experiences show students how schoolwork connects with our world, not just in our school, but in our community. Increase academic performance. Studies show that when we put our kiddos in these opportunities, that our grades get better, our scores are better, and it's just giving us, our kiddos, a different outlook and opportunities that they might not get otherwise. If you right there, those are some of the great children that I get to work with every day, and this year we got the opportunity to work with transitions, and one of my friends in the middle there, we go to the bank and we help the boosters every week or every other week, and we make sure that the clothes that we use for Lodi Pride, that the clothes are on the hangers or looking nice for sales for the bank. So we've got the opportunity to go and do that. So that's been a really great thing for our kiddos, and it's at that wonderful time for them just to learn working on those social skills. So that's been a great opportunity for us.
Another great opportunity for our students is guest speakers, a lot of career exposure and inspiration. So professionals get these students to learn about different career paths and real world experiences so that they can kind of identify what they might be interested in the future. There's a lot of in-depth knowledge. These speakers provide expert insights into these specific topics that they come to talk about. So it helps kids understand, beyond what's in their textbooks. Lots of diverse perspectives. Guest speakers are bringing those new voices and perspectives into those classrooms. And then also contextualizing learning, just showing how those academic skills are applied in professional settings to help them kind of just see that work in action.
So we have some examples here for you. So from 3rd grade, part of that My View Literacy is there's a project and some learning that happens around how can we make facilities better and how can we make them accessible. So they actually went to the Mallards, and it was the first time the Mallards had Welcome to School for a tour. And so they got to have a tour, they got to be on the field and play, but they also got to see the behind the scenes and get some ideas that they also then did some additional research on to be able to then write and actually achieve and be awarded a grant for the City of Lodi to be able to do some renovations at the park. So the 3rd graders actually secured an Optimus grant that the city now can apply or can use to make some of the renovations that they suggested. So, and then one other thing that you'll see in each area is we also have each group going out to the school forest, which is a great opportunity for our kiddos to be learning and moving. 4th grade, the Pioneer Village is something we do every year, just to see, back in time. It ties directly to their social studies standards in 4th grade in Wisconsin. And then we're just lucky that we have an opportunity in Reedsburg, not too far away, to go experience that. Also, they had some local archaeologists, experts, come and teach them about all things rocks and minerals, and very hands-on. The kids loved it, and the 2 presenters did a great job bringing that learning to life. And then this is their experience, 4th grade out in the school forest as well. 5th grade.
All right, we took the yellow windmills down to Spring Green for the Taliesin for Frank Lloyd Wright. In my view, there's a story on Frank Lloyd Wright, and it's a mixture of art and life, and how you can have that balance. And so it's always been one of our hopes to get down there, and we made it happen this year. And really cool thing is we were one of the youngest school grades to go through the whole Taliesin. Usually our age, they just put them in the schoolroom, but they gave us the whole elaborate tour. And it was absolutely amazing, and it'll be tied into a project that we'll be doing this year. Then we headed out to the school forest again, and you can see notebooks hand because we take that time in that wonderful outdoor classroom to read, to write, and reflect about what they're seeing around them, and really putting those senses on paper. Then we talk some accounting. So every year we do a stock it up. The kids get $20,000, not real, and they get to invest in 2 companies, and then every week they go through and see how their stocks are doing. And this year we brought in Ron Hatch and his associate from Preferred Tax Advisors, and they came in and took it to the next level to really show real life experience of how you can invest your money in not just the stock market, but other things, and then kind of what they do as a job, as possible career for some of our students. So we really appreciate them for coming in.
All of our classrooms have a great expectation for
Right. This year we made it over to Elder Leopold. It was a great opportunity for kids just to see animals that they wouldn't necessarily see up close. We learned about the food chain and the food web and did lots of indoor and outdoor activities. It was a beautiful day out. It was needed for them. They did a great job there. We also made it to the school forest. Cody Andrus has done a great job building it within his PE time so that the whole building can get out.
as far as for this one would be
Appreciated that time.
kindergarten through 2nd grade.
And then we've had, this is the second year we've had, Sauk Prairie Health came to the school, and the kids do different lessons on food. So they learned all about the produce here in different colors and how the different colors affect, like kind of paired them with organs within our body and how it affected our body in a healthy way, and they got to make vegetable pizza with a homemade ranch, which was great. And this tied in nicely with our highlighting magnetic literacy, and there's a whole unit on food, taste buds and genes, and history of produce, so it was great to bring that in for the students to build connection. Yep.
So I know Nick had given us a 5-minute warning a little bit ago.
A minute, 30 seconds
Minute
left.
30. So first, I want to give you opportunity questions for us. Anything you saw, or
Were you able to do the food unit in the OSC kitchen thing?
Yep.
So
They
it's right
brought
there?
all the supplies in, which was wonderful. We have different supplies, but they bring everything. They provide the food. They create the presentation. The kids all go home with a recipe card too. So it's pretty cool.
I think one of the things that is most exciting for me is when we think about people out in our community who are experts, that students get the opportunity to learn from these experts all the time, and then to see other people passionate about what they're doing and what they're teaching, it just really brings the best out in our kids. Well, thank you Board 2 for allowing us these opportunities again. I think our students are just at that right, perfect age, and our staff do a great job of balancing getting to go out and also still making sure that we're covering what we need to cover in the classroom. And we really found that it not only is enhancing our learning, but also enhancing our students as people. Thank you.
Thank you.
except for the people at home. I'm Derek Pertzmore. I guess this is going on the website, isn't it? All right, here we go. I'm using time up. All right, so we're going to focus on a couple pillars today. The first one is Pillar 4, which is District Workforce. And we had a theme this year that we've been working on as a staff called the One You Feed. And to give you some background in it, it's really about culture. And culture is really hard to define, and I like this saying, like, school culture is like the wind. It can be hard to explain, but everyone feels it. School culture is extremely important, and that culture for our staff is extremely important. I feel like staff deserve an excellent place to work where they feel valued, where they feel like it's a positive place. So in order for that to happen, we have to spend some time working on making it a positive place. So this is a video that will give you some background on the One You Feed.
As the legend goes, an old Cherokee was teaching his grandson about life. He said to the boy, "A fight is going on inside me. It is a terrible fight, and it is between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, guilt, lies, superiority, and ego. The other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside me, and inside every other person too." The grandson thought about it for a minute, and then he asked his grandfather, "Which wolf will win?" The old Cherokee simply replied, "The one you feed."
So we watched that at one of our collaboration days. And then staff took some time. They took 10 minutes just to meet with one of their teams to really talk about like good wolf habits and evil wolf habits. Then we did a share out with staff, just trying to come up with themes, like what are some different times, and come up with themes of times we feed the evil wolf, times that we are feeding the good wolf, and then also reflecting on how does that impact our staff culture. And then we had 4 minutes to work on a self-reflection, and we really felt like this self-reflection is important because when all of our teachers are like this, like they all are great teachers, but they don't always see themselves like that because they're focused on all the things that we could get better at as a school, as them, as students, like things that, you know, like a kid forgets his materials, like that's frustrating. It's easy to get hung up on that. So it was good for us just to reflect on like, hey, is that really worth getting upset about? And it's not to say that we don't address it, but we just can't sit and continually feed that over and over again. I stuck their feedback in ChatGPT. They had typed them out on some Google Docs. I put them all in. We shared these with staff then. And then they had an assignment over the next week to really just purposefully notice which wolf they were feeding and paying special attention to like when they're stressed, like which wolf am I feeding right now, to just try to help them calibrate their day. And then I sent them an email reminder each day during that next week just to feed the good wolf. So this one here, good morning staff, a simple reminder this morning, we are what we give our attention to grows. Let's feed the good wolf today. We also had other reminders during this at the beginning of the second term. I put this little card in their mailbox with a kind bar attached, and then it said, "Remember to feed this to the good wolf." We have these little figurines in our office by our mailboxes, which everyone walks by, and then they're just a reminder because we all need a reminder. It's not to say that the evil wolf is so bad or the good wolf is so bad. It's that we all have this fight going on inside of us, and that is okay. I think we should acknowledge that, but we also get to choose the one that we feed.
All right, and I'm going to talk about our community connection and what we're doing at middle school to support that pillar. One of the events that has been growing over the years is our Veterans Day activities. We started this many years ago in 6th grade, it's grown to 7th grade, and 8th grade has dabbled in it. We're hoping to get it a whole school-wide thing. It sounds like it might get to that way real soon. We do the Veterans Day activities before Veterans Day for two reasons. One, we want to make sure our students realize the importance of Veterans Day and what Veterans Day is before the day actually happens. And then two, the veterans that we have coming in, we want to make sure we respect their time and that they're allowed to do their activities that the community is honoring for them, whether it be the school program, Reach Out Lodi, or all the free breakfasts and lunches that they have the opportunity to attend. So we start off the day as a large group with everyone in the cafeteria starting out like, what is Veterans Day? All of our veterans are local veterans. A lot of them are parents, but our roster is getting awful full. So this year we have Lance Corporal Nick Brown. He's a dad of a sixth grader. Came in and kind of just focused on, in general, teaching our sixth graders what is Veterans Day and why do we actually have Veterans Day and what is a veteran. After that, we have different veterans, and they're all stationed in our room, and our students are broken down into small groups. And the students rotate to each room every 20 minutes. So here is our list of veterans that have come into sixth grade. And I'll have to say, this list makes my job so easy. I send out an email, and literally within 7 minutes, I have yeses from all of the veterans. Like, they can't wait till this day. Charlie, a couple years ago, actually postponed his wedding to make sure he could come. That is no joke. I sent out the date and I said, okay, we need you here from 9:30 to 1:30, and he's like, I'm supposed to get married. I'll tell my fiance it has to be after 1:30. And I'm like, what? So he did. He postponed his wedding. So we laughed that we had his bachelor party at the luncheon that day. All right, and then it has grown to seventh grade, and here's our seventh grade special guest. This program has grown, it's been so positive in our community. People are knocking down the doors to come in and speak. For example, Dwayne Clemens and Bobby Endress, they were going to come speak to our seventh graders. They showed up that day with, I believe, 4 other guys from Dane Legion. And we're like, what? They're like, well, we just invited some friends. Everyone wanted to come. So they came and they kind of shared a room. They just can't wait. Often I'll get an email from our school secretary saying, this person stopped in and wants to speak at Veterans Day. So people can't wait to come to our middle school and share their story. When they visit, the veterans have about 20 minutes, so it goes really fast, but they discuss the value of teamwork and leadership that they learned while they were in the service. Teachers and students teach the students about resilience and perseverance and not giving up. So it's teaching those students those lifelong skills as well. And then they see and have a deep appreciation for our younger generation, wanting to listen to learn. They get to see how great our kids here in Lodi Middle School truly are, and how they are such great kids. Students are engaged. They ask those thoughtful questions. One of the kind of social skills that we teach the kids beforehand is what is a good question and what is a not appropriate question. So they're asking those thoughtful questions. They show appreciation by thanking the veteran for their service. Before the students leave the room and go to the next speaker, they go up to each and every veteran, shake their hand, and look them in the eye and say thank you for your service. We listen to the personal stories that are shared, and they see the emotion and the empathy from the service members. They'll be teary, they'll cry, they'll share their real life experiences, and it just is a wonderful way for the students to learn from that primary source there. We have one Sturk guy who comes, Terry Anderson. He came back from Vietnam and he was so embarrassed to be a veteran and a service member, he threw everything away and didn't talk about it. He didn't talk about it until many years later, and finally he went to some therapy and he ended up getting his medals replaced and his ribbons replaced, and now he comes every year and speaks to our sixth graders about it because he thinks it's now so important to share those stories so history doesn't repeat itself. And then the students also reflect on things that they themselves are thankful for. So for example, at the end, all students are required to write 2 thank you notes to our veterans, and then we do mail these out. Many students choose to write more than 2 just because they were so impacted by the speakers, and they all are personalized, this story, you made an impact, or thank you for your service in those ways. One other thing is we kind of do a nice patriotic hallway to kind of honor our veterans and give them the honor that they deserve. Every student makes a locker declaration with the sentence or thanks to a veteran, I have the freedom to, and the students kind of write down what they that they appreciate, that they have the freedom to because of a veteran. And so the hallways are lined with stars and red, white, and blue. Our end of the bulletin hallway has this as well, and kind of thanking our veterans on stars, kind of giving them that visual appreciation for the service that they've done for our country and for our students, and what they have there. One last thing we do is the Wisconsin Veterans Museum has totes that you can rent, and they have real artifacts from different parts or different wars or conflicts. And so students are able to see how things have evolved, or try things on, or see how things would feel having to wear them. So that's the museum trunks. And I think I talked nice and fast. No, they're just not here. We've been in for 11 minutes. You guys gotta go. Unless there's any questions.
Sounds like the veterans are helping the students are helping the veterans, which is the best.
I think it's a great going back and forth. Absolutely.
Good work.
Thank you.
High school? I'm Kate McCray, I'm the high school choir director.
Okay, so this is the Lodi High School Gallery Walk LHS scorecard. It's based on the strategic plan, which we developed many years ago. And these are some of the things that we are trying to do as far as goals in our school. Just so you know, all of the pictures that you see, because it is a gallery walk, are pictures or artwork that has been done by our advanced art students. So I included those. I had Whitney send me some pictures. We're going to introduce our team, Pillars 1 and 4 we're going to talk about tonight. Senior Reality Day, Academic Career Planning, and Staff Culture Committee are Pillars 1 and 4. And then we're going to have some time for questions. So this is the team. I just wanted to mention the fact that there are lots of different people that are on our team, whether they're teachers, whether they're educational assistants, school counselors, we have an instructional coach, high school administration, so on and so forth. And this team has changed over the years. There are some people that have been on this team since we started 4 years ago, so it's nice to have that consistency. And then again, Pillars 1, preparing for the future, is the first thing we're going to talk about. And then Pillar 4 is district workforce. All right, Pillar 1. Now you guys have become very familiar with the Jobs and Career Fair, which we have done and become staples at Lodi High School over the last 4 years. Well, we went to DeForest High School about 2 years ago, and we watched something called Senior Reality Day. We were really moved by it. We thought it was really awesome. We got a lot of good feedback. The person that ran that event, we got lots of advice from them, and we decided, I found one person that would really take that on, and then she formed a committee. It was Christy Paskey, and we did Senior Reality Day at Lodi High School, and it ended up being a great experience for our seniors this past fall. All right, Kate can talk about it.
So we bused our senior class to the Country Inn and Suites in DeForest in 2 separate groups for size reasons. And when they arrived, they were handed a life status card. Each individual kid got a life status card. It gave them an occupation, which was based off of their Zello lessons, which, as you know, is our college and career readiness software. So they've been taking Zello lessons for years, and it narrows you down into a certain few categories. So that's how their occupation was chosen. They were given a marital status, an occupation for their spouse, number of dependents, a monthly salary, their spouse's monthly salary, which gives them a total monthly income, student loans if they have them. And then they took this and they had to make it through the 40 different stations or so. We had about 40 different community members that came to assist with this project. It was really wonderful. They had to find a place to live. They had to get health insurance. They had to get an automobile, things like that. There was a travel agent. You could invest your money. The police chief was there handing out tickets along the way. It was very cool.
They had to pay for daycare.
They did have to pay for
Yeah,
childcare.
and it was interesting. I was there in the morning.
Yeah.
And the kids avoided the daycare. They did
Yes.
not go to the table. That the lady that was sitting there, I don't remember her name. She was so lonely because she just sat there by herself, and the kids just kept walking by and avoided. Like, you guys are gonna have to pay for daycare if you want to work.
Yeah.
So yes, that was one of the
It
tables.
was too expensive, they couldn't afford it.
Yes, and I think they realized that's when they really didn't want to have any kids. So there were other tables like investing your money, and it was nice. Like Dennis Crow was there; he's a former student at Lodi High School. There were other former students that were at tables, which I thought was pretty cool. I really like the fake card station because you get a police ticket, you get suddenly a health issue that comes up, or you could get gifted money from your family. So that sometimes happens as well. This is one of our students that got a ticket. She looks happy. I'm not sure why. And that's our chief police.
You could go to the lawyer and contest your ticket. It was a whole thing. It was very
Yes. So we had a judge there that actually they go to. It was pretty cool.
Some of the things the students said that they enjoyed about this process were having fun and getting a taste of the real world, learning to live on a quote-unquote real budget. Of course, there was candy at some of the stations and their kids, so there you go. This is my favorite comment, rooming with my friend and seeing that it's possible to live on a career that I'd like, right? So here's your monthly salary. Oh, I can't afford a house. I also can't afford an apartment by myself, but oh my gosh, we're friends. Let's room together. So it was a real world scenario that they could experience here. Some of them, again, we talked about childcare. They do not want to have children, and there were raffle prizes that they enjoyed and things.
One of the things about living on a career that I'd like, I think some of us that are parents in this room, that's what we really want from our kids. Like, find a job that you really love and you can actually support yourself to a certain extent. That's really, really important. So if they can do that, it's definitely a win. Some of the other things that they said that were most challenging, unexpected fate cards, as I mentioned, making purchasing choices that fit my salary, which sometimes you want to purchase other things and you can't because of what you make. Getting all the boosts was tough. Spending my money actually was a challenge because they had extra, so they donated $750. Yes. Yes.
Some were devastated and bankrupt.
Right.
Yes.
You had to buy the necessities before the luxuries, that's important. And then one quote, as my husband is poor, seriously though, caring for a baby on 2 small salaries is hard.
Because you just don't know until you know, so.
My son
Now
was
they know.
a single dad with 2 kids.
Right.
And he could
It's
not
tough.
make it.
Sorry.
It's tough.
Yeah.
The other part of Pillar 1 I want to quickly talk about is our face-to-face academic and career planning conference that all of our 9th graders and 11th graders are going through. So we have 2 school counselors at Lodi High School. And up to this point, all of our 9th graders have had a short meeting with one of our counselors and they go through these topics. So they introduce them to like co-curricular options. They find out about their students' strengths. Staying on track to graduation, they might talk about college expectations. So they talk about all those things and they check them off if they've talked to that student about it. And then they also talk about all the pathways, like what are you interested in, basically? Marketing, manufacturing, government, so on and so forth. We'll check those off. All of this data goes into NextPath. It says there was a meeting, and then they give us the information that the student shared with them. And then we use that information and put it on a spreadsheet. So this was last year's 11th graders when they met with them. And they find out about their strengths, what activities they're involved in, possible future interests, so on and so forth. As a 9th grader, even though you might not know, well, you might know what you want to do as a 9th grader, and that changes by the time you're a 12th grader, at least it gives them some direction. And we have somewhere that actually staff can go to. They can look into NextPath, not just for test results, not necessarily just for behavior issues, but also to find out about their students. Like I can go in if I'm a sophomore teacher, and I can find out that this kid did powerlifting. And I can talk to them about it when they walk into my classroom the first day. So it's important information that they have, and we keep track of it. Pillar 4. Kate's going to talk about this.
Pillar 4 is all about creating and maintaining a positive staff experience here as we work at Lodi, the school district of Lodi. And at Lodi High School, we have an SCC committee, staff culture committee, and there were 5 fun things that we wanted to highlight. Oh, this is our team.
There you go. That's a photograph that the kid did, isn't that amazing?
Number 1, we had an opt-in Secret Santa thing. So you didn't have to do it, but if you wanted to, it was kind of fun. You put in your name and you're like, here are 3 of my interests. And then before winter break, there was a bag with something fun for you in it.
I got a backpack. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was, it was a cool thing.
It was nice.
Staff dress-up days that we share only with staff. So the kids were like, why are you all wearing flannel, right? That kind of thing. It's fun.
We're just weird. We just do that.
This is one of our favorite things, and here's why. So, fight finals with food. It happens when we give final exams, and as you might know, it's a 3-day adventure, final exams. And it is a very special time of year for our staff because it's the only time we all have lunch at the same time. There are people that you never see in the building because you don't have shared lunch times and they work at the other end of the building. So this is awesome. We enjoy each other's company and we do 3 kind of goofy potluck themes each day. So apps and desserts, like from Parks and Rec, appetizers and desserts. Last June we did Taco Tuesday because it was Tuesday. And we did sausage and salads. This January, no tacos, we did soups. It was lovely.
Yeah, one of the things I think is really important about this is that there's a spreadsheet that's sent out and you can sign up to bring something if you want to.
Yeah,
you
nothing
don't,
is
but you can always come down and eat, even if you don't bring something. I know there's sometimes pressure to feel like you gotta bring something and then you got 3 kids and you gotta do this and that and I gotta bring something to work. You don't have to bring anything. And we usually have plenty of food.
Very much so.
It's nice.
It's all very relaxed and just camaraderie time. It's great. We're very excited about this. This is our February staff activity. At the end of the month, we have the curling club from 2 to 7 p.m. It is a drop-in adventure. So we have people on our staff who are curlers and will most assuredly be curling. So you could learn how to curl that day, or you could just, again, go and hang out and enjoy each other's company.
Can the public come and watch?
We will not get any staff members to come if you do that, nor will they curl, because curling's not easy. You don't want to be on ice. But
it's gonna be really fun.
It'll be a lot of fun. And some of us, like, tonight is actually my curling night. And I usually miss it once a month because of our board meeting. But it's a lot of fun, and there's a lot of community members. And curling has a rich history in Lodi. And we don't get together with our staff too often outside school. It's really difficult. So we wanted a place where they feel comfortable, they don't have to curl. If you've ever been to the curling club, it is a really nice place to have a get together. There's like a kitchen, places to sit, and then you can sit up by the curling and watch people curl and fall over and all that kind of stuff. But so we tried to do it last year and it got canceled like 3 times because of weather. Like, things kept coming up where we couldn't use the curling club. And really, it's very inexpensive. They charge people that want to curl that haven't curled a very minimal amount, which is nice. So, yeah. And one more, actually.
And then every month we acknowledge birthdays and celebrate those folks with birthdays. So as an example, happy birthday to everyone in January, and an email goes out and lists everybody, so you can say happy birthday to those people. And then those people are entered in a drawing, and this little spinner goes off, and if your name is selected, you could get something like a gift certificate for some Lodi swag, or something to that effect, right? What's great is that, again, camaraderie and together time with food. So it's happy birthday January, there's cake in the lounge, and we all go, yes, hey, happy birthday. So it's great.
Any questions?
Very nice.
Very much for listening. Appreciate you guys.